Welcome back to Apple Tree Allotment. Come down here Sunday afternoon. It's quite a nice day, but it's a bit windy today. I've got a few things to do, a few jobs to do today. Looks like the frost has finished off all of the courgettes, so I'm going to pull those up. I think they're done for the year. So we're going to get rid of those. We're going to have a look at these beds where we sowed the green manure. I'm tempted, I was having a sort of plan this week what I want to do going into next year, so I can plan where to put stuff now, because it all overlaps, doesn't it? It all sort of stays in until summer, the things you're doing now. So I was just thinking, this side of the allotment, this first side, I'm thinking of doing this all as potatoes next year. I reckon we got about 6 months worth of potatoes this year out of the allotment, maybe a little bit more. I'd really like to do more. If we could do a year, that'd be fantastic. So what I'm thinking is keep this side free over the winter. Green manure maybe, anything as long as it's out by the time potatoes need to get in. And also I want to build, I said last week, didn't I wanted to build, I'm thinking of extending these out to the end of the allotment. And then I was also thinking, if I get time and the wood and everything, of making another, perhaps make these 4 into 2 long ones, just to sort of use up the space that is currently the paths. We don't need that many paths. Thinking on it, I might actually do the sort of back 2, so we've got a path across the middle. Yeah, but that's sort of ideas for over the winter and next year. Lots of growing space for potatoes on this side. So I don't want to plant anything else on this side until then. Over the other side, we've still got our beetroot, a little bit of chard in there, leeks, spring onions, and some more chard over there. Although there are 4 beds that are empty over here. And then obviously we've got our garlic and onion over on plot 1 over there. Yeah, so I've been having a think about where to put everything. I don't want to sort of get there and then it's everything's all over the place next year. So another job for today, so I'm going to do the courgettes, get rid of those. I've got some broad beans to sow. I was thinking of making a new bed for them over the back there, but now I've seen that the courgettes are gone, semi-tempted to clear that out and do those 2 beds. I'll have a little walk around today and see. I've got a load more soil improver, so the stuff that I use to make these new beds, and I've got a little bit of compost, so I could make a new bed at the back, or I could just use these beds here. I'll have a look, see how they're doing, and think about it. So either way, I did originally I got the soil improver yesterday, and I did get it with the intention of filling up at least half of this tyre for the flowers. So if I don't use it for a new bed, I'll use it for that. Yeah, but other than that, so there's sort of main 2 jobs: broad beans, get rid of the courgettes, and I can use that soil improver for either the tyre or the new bed. Over here I can see the onions starting to come up. Just a little tiny one poking out there. Can't see any more, but hopefully they're making a start. Garlic looks all right this week. None of them's been pulled up. So there's a fair few nice little shoots about. See a few there going along that line. Yeah, so they're growing away nicely. I did have a few comments last week about the garlic because it had been pulled up by maybe birds, maybe squirrels, whatever. And I think it was John who said about putting some sort of squash bottles, plastic bottles over them and securing them with sticks to stop birds getting them. So as we get any of those spare, I might do that. I don't really want to do netting too much because it tends to flap around and the birds get stuck in it and things. That might be a last resort if they do pull any more out. I'll do that. Yeah, so let's get on. First job, let's pull all these up. They're looking very sad now. Then get some gloves on and get them out of that bed. I've pulled the first big courgette plant out of this one over in the corner by the tyres. So that's one of the yellow ones. This bed has got three or four garlic growing in it. Obviously I missed some cloves from last year. So I'm going to leave them in, they're not doing any harm. I don't need it now. And if they're ready by the time I need the bed next year, fantastic. If not, then I haven't lost anything. So I'm going to leave them in. The other thing that's in here is this sweet potato, which I've just noticed since last week has all gone. Obviously the frost has got to it. So I thought we'd pull that up and have a look if we've got any sweet potatoes. Yeah, so there's a few. I mean, they're not what you'd buy from the supermarket, but there's a few little sweet potatoes there. So that one's a bit eaten. Yeah, so I'll clean them off and pull them out. I think they need to be quite warm generally, so they might do better if there was a top on this or something. But yeah, that's a quite nice size little potato. Yeah, so I'll clean them up and pull them off. I've cleared out the other courgette bed, two big courgettes plants there. There's a couple of little courgettes left on there. I'll take them home to add to the pile. There's a few there. I think I'm going to use these two beds for the broad beans. So I've got a little bit of compost bags, so I might put some in here, just top it up a bit. I might even put some of that soil improver in as well, just to fill the bed up a bit higher. The soil in this actually is quite interesting because I did start this off with manure last year. This was a new bed, I think maybe at the start of this year, to put the courgettes in, and I put a couple of bags of manure in and then a bag of compost on the top, I think. Yeah, but it's just really interesting how nice the soil is now. Now it's obviously had a year of rotting down. Yeah, it's really nice. So yeah, that's nice to see. Yeah, so I think I will do that. I'll go and get some compost, some topsoil, perhaps get a box of topsoil, fill it up and put some compost on the top, and then I'll plant the broad beans. I think there was 30 in the packet, and they yeah, so they should do the two beds, I think. We'll see how we go. I've put two of these boxes full of topsoil in. It's nice to get it quite full, and then the beans have got a good amount of soil to be supported by and grow in. And I've got a bit of compost in there as well, a bag I had laying around. So that one sorted out. The other one is looking pretty good actually. That bed it's quite deep. It did have a load of compost in it not long ago at the start of the year. So I think that's pretty good. Yeah, so I'm going to go and put the rest of the topsoil in the tyre. I'm going to put that, that bag is horse manure. There's a stables up the road. Whenever I pass it and they've got some, I grab some horse manure. So I'll perhaps put a couple of boxes in first, just to fill up that sort of grassy bit at the bottom. And then I put a bit of horse manure in and mix it up. I did bring some cardboard down to make that new bed if I wanted to. So I might put a bit of that in the bottom first, just to help kill off this grass. Yeah, I'll do that, I think. I'll get a bit in there. I'll have a look around, see if there's any other boxes that could do with a bit of soil. I'll go again when we get a chance. If I get a chance next weekend, I'll go again and get some more and fill this up some more and gradually do it. I was going to do, this one's got daffodils in, which we can either leave here or we can cut to go home. I was thinking with this one, I might do more of a sort of flower bed. I've got some oxide daisies at home in pots, so I could put some of them in at the back. They're very tall. They do last quite a long time, which is nice. I've also got loads of lavender. I might do it a sort of white and lavendery kind of bed. Maybe put some other bulbs in at the front. Yeah, put a couple of tall things at the back. Yeah, we'll see what we can find at the time when I get around to filling it up. Yeah, I think that'd be nice to have a few different flowers in here that are going at different times of year. I noticed on the some other plots as I walked past, there's definitely been some big frosts this week, because they're had some really nice flowers on some of them, and they're all looking very brown now, which is a shame, but it means autumn's on it, definitely in full swing. Yeah, I'll go and get some more soil improver out of our, we brought our camper down full of the boxes. I'll go and get those. So I put some cardboard down in the bottom. I put a couple of boxes in there on top of each other, just to keep all those, any of that grass or weeds down while it all gets going. I took all the tape off it and stickers and everything that I could, just there's no plastic in there. But yeah, that looks good. So I'll start putting some of this soil in and mixing the manure. I added those 3 more boxes of topsoil, soil improver stuff. I also found down by the gate, there was a big pile of topsoil. Looks like someone's done a patio or something, dug up some of their lawn. There's a big pile down by the gate. So I got some of that, and it's filled up most of the tyre. There's just probably room for another bag of compost or something on the top. So I shall do that another day. I'll start thinking of some plants and bring some of that down. Yeah, I'll leave it like that for today, but that looks good. It's big improvement. All the stuff's in the compost now, all the courgette, it's all on the top there. Everything's rotting down. All the pumpkins and squash stuff was in there. That's gone down. It was full last week and it's all already dropped right down. So that's brilliant. Yeah, so last job is to get these broad beans in. So I'll put those seeds in. And there's maybe a few raspberries I can just pick as well. These are the broad beans I'm going to plant. So they're Aqua Juice Claudia from Thompson & Morgan. I just got these from Frost's last week. And it says they're extremely quick growing, perfect for autumn sowing. And it says to direct sow them November, December. So we start in November, so that's perfect. And we should get them between July and September harvest. So they will be in most of the season, or pretty much all the season next year. I've got about 30 in here, it says. And they need to be 5 centimetres down and about 25 to 30 centimetres apart. So I shall lay them all out and see how we go. I've laid them out all in the bed. They actually all fit into this one bed, which is okay. There was 37 in there in the end. There was 2 that didn't quite fit in the row, so I just popped them in there. I don't expect they'll all come up, or some of them might get taken or whatever, so I squeezed them in a little bit closer than maybe I would do if I was planting them out as plants. Yeah, we'll see how they come up. We can always move some or whatever, and I'll make sure I get some canes for them this year so they manage to stand up straight and nice. Yeah, so I'm going to go in now, push them all down, soil ready to grow away over winter. All the broad bean seeds are in now, so all nicely buried. Hopefully they'll come up before next spring, and we can see how we're doing. If they don't do too well, we can always plant some in February, perhaps plant the other bed up. It's not something we eat tons of. We did make, I think, did we make a pesto this year out of some? Yeah, so it's not something I'd grow loads of, but it's something that's nice to grow over winter, and we always seem to do quite well at them. So yeah, it's something nice to get in this time of year. See how it's doing. So I'll water that down a little bit, just because that compost is quite dry, and I might water down the green manure as well, just to make sure it's all sprouting nicely, give it a chance. I do have some more of the green manure seeds. Brought it down just in case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant up these next 2 beds at the front as well. So I've already got it in these 2. Now I know I was thinking of using them for the broad beans, but I'm going to save them for the potatoes. So yeah, I'm going to do those, see how much seed is in here. I might be able to do some more. If it comes up, it is a bit late for this seed, but it is really warm in the daytime at least, so you never know. Yeah, so I'm going to sow that, see if it comes up. At least it might give the soil a bit of something over winter to restore itself. And then these beds are quite low, so in the spring, before I do the potatoes, I'll top these up with some compost anyway. The next 2 are not too bad, but the ones at the back will need some as well. Just get them a little bit deeper, give the potatoes a bit more space. And also, once I've decided if I'm going to extend any of these, it means I haven't got too much soil to move around. Yeah, so I'm just going to broadcast this green manure in, and then in these 2, and then I'll get the rake and just give it a little rake over. We're all done now. I just picked some of these raspberries, some nice raspberries there. Have them for breakfast, and our little courgettes and sweet potatoes. It's not a bad little harvest this time of year. I finished up doing I just watered the beds, so the broad beans and the green manure, and I raked that over before watering. So they're all in. So I've now got those 4 beds. That was all the seed, those 4 beds. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes this year. See if that comes up. I'll try and remember to do it earlier next year if the beds are free. See how we get on. Rest of the allotment, beetroot still going away. Looks like the spring onions and the leeks are doing okay still. And the chard looks like it took a bit of a beating from the wind or something. Some of these bigger ones. There's still some nice bits there. The ones at home, I've got 2 beds at home, and they do look bigger now. I think they're in a more protected area, so they're probably doing a bit better, and we should start using some of that with our roasts and things. Yeah, that's it really. A few garlic still going in there, and our new flower tyre filled up. So yeah, that was a good hour or 2's work. It's looking nice, all nice and tidy now. All the sort of straggly stuff's pulled out. Leave that. It's probably it for autumn, winter now, I guess, in terms of planting, unless I can think of anything else, get any starts or anything. Yeah, it's all looking good. Be interesting to see how that stuff grows. Yeah, so hope you're well and still getting the last bits of harvest in, and hope you're enjoying the autumn. One thing I did mean to tell you, the pumpkins we picked, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, from these beds. So there was the really big one, that's stored away in the pantry at the moment, but the three, there was actually four, I think, of the smaller one, we ate those. We had two of them we've had as a pumpkin fondue, 2 different meals, and they were really good pumpkins. They're really dense, there was loads of flesh in it, so I've saved the seeds from one of them, and there's tons of seed, so hopefully I've dried it all out, and I'm going to keep it in some paper bags in the pantry, I think. So yeah, so hopefully that will save for next year, because they were really good pumpkins. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how well that big one does, but yeah, really pleased with those. Yeah, so that's all for today. Hope you enjoyed that, and look forward to talking to you next week.